Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to review the bottled at Harbor Freight, the Maddox Exhaust Pipe Expander. There it is shown in the picture. And let's take here and we're going to get serious and see what it's all about. Furthermore, it's never been out of this box yet. I'm freshly opening it up, and I have high hopes this is going to work, because I know over the years of working on cars, particularly exhaust, being able to successfully expand a pipe to make it fit into another would be a great asset. I know I bought years ago a cheap version of one of these tools, and it would not do anything. It really wasn't even good at like fixing just a slightly kinked pipe. Okay, it comes in a nice molded carrying case, and again, if any doubts of what's in the case, there's a sticker telling you. And here, same deal on the other side, well marked. And the little latch has got an arrow facing up, so I assume that's the proper way to sit the case down and open it so everything don't come falling out when you open the case. I've done that before with socket sets and such. And there's what's inside of it. A nice place for everything to sit, and here's a detailed diagram telling you about all the adapters and what everything's for. It even comes, which that's nice, extra O-rings in case the O-rings wear out. And the most important thing on this tool, and it's showing you there, you can use it with an impact wrench. That, again, on that cheap one I bought, it wouldn't do nothing with just like a regular wrench. You couldn't get anywhere, and about the time I put the impact wrench on it, well, it just stripped the threads. But again, hopefully this don't do such of a thing, and it does work as promised. I actually do not need to per se need to expand any pipes at the time for a project, but I found this used piece of pipe and another in here, and we're going to take an experiment here just to see if it will work. And you can see that is 2 inches outside diameter. And here we have the pipe I want to put in it, which is also, it's again a 2 inch outside diameter. It's the same size. You can see I'm trying to slide it in. This is sort of what I'm looking for to be capable of doing, and it's again as I've showed with the tape measure. Now on this the piece of pipe that's in the bench vise that we're going to be using the tool, it's actually 14 gauge. Now that other one is only 16, but I do want to see if it's capable of doing this sticker walled exhaust pipe, although I seldom work with it. And there's the O-rings and a little tube of anti-seize that you're supposed to coat the bolt with before using the tool. So we're going to do as instructed before we use it. First we have to turn the bolt loose from the cone at the bottom. The cone's the threaded part, and then like I say the bolt turns into that, and then in the middle's the bearing holder. They call it a bearing washer, and what we're going to be using for the small pipe, the small expander. Again, there's the bolt, there's the bearing washer, and this both sides of it. And here we have this is the expander itself, and this other part here in my left hand is what they refer to as the cone, and that is what is threaded and what the bolt threads into. But anyhow, and we're going to open up the little. I actually have a jar of anti-seize with the little brush and all, but I figured for the video I'd use what came with it, and then down the road I'll just use what I already have, and just take here and give it a. Again, it's a pretty small tube, but try to spread it around and thread as good as I can here. Furthermore, excuse the camera at times. I don't know why it's wanting to have focus issues. I guess it's not quick enough to autofocus with the adjustment of my hands, but I apologize for that. And we'll spread some more. Again, get it around, get most of it. And then when you turn it in, the rest will, again, work up through the threads. And again, the purpose of lubrication, I get the points to cut down on friction so it don't strip any threads or anything while using the tool. I know a couple of years ago I was using a strut spring compressor and was having difficulty. I've used that tool a good many times, and I couldn't get. They must be stronger than other ones I work with. Springs compressed on 4 Taurus front ones, and I took just merely on the threads of that strut spring compressor and just dipped them in drain oil and put it back to use. And what I was failing to do, that little bit of drain oil and the threads worked, and I got the spring compressed and the struts, the tore apart and put back together. And there you're also supposed to coat the flat surfaces on this cone part, what I'm taking out of the instructions. Actually, when it's all said and done, now the instructions weren't claiming that, but that bearing and the bearing washer, I'm going to take and next time before I go to use it, pack it with just wheel bearing grease. But that again for this time, they're just saying as far as the instructions, just to put the anti-seize here, which again, that's what we're going to do for the video. On the other hand, while making the video, I was reading the instruction closer. In step 1, the part C of it, it claims to lubricate where the bearing surface touches the washer, which is pretty much what I'm claiming I'm going to do the next time. So, okay, I didn't properly lubricate it. But again, we'll go with the flow here. Okay, and then we'll slide our expander back on, and then we're going to put the cone back on and thread this back over the threads. And again, it's all, those threads are nice and lubed up with the anti-seize, no doubt about that. Furthermore, down the road, if that bearing would go bad, it doesn't look like that uncommon of a bearing, and perhaps I never did check there. Maybe I'll look when I post this and put it in the description. There's probably a part number on it, so if you would need one down the road, you could probably just buy the bearing. Okay, there's together, and we're going to take and slide it in the pipe and begin with, of course, just hand tightening the bolt on the end till it holds firmly inside the pipe. That seems fairly self-explanatory. Okay, that's snugged up good. Now I guess comes the moment of truth. I'm going to grab my impact wrench, and a 27mm socket is what size this bolt is. Pretty good size bolt, no doubt. Okay, and there's my, I'm using a cordless impact wrench, and let's see what happens. Well, we're starting to make some headway until the bench vise isn't holding the pipe tight enough. I have to tighten it up some more. It definitely, again, I think maybe down the road I need to update the bench vise too. Here, tighten it some more, see if it does it. I didn't think that my cordless impact wrench had that much oomph to it. Okay, that's about as far as I'm going to go till I check it. I'm going to back it off and see how much we did accomplish here. And there's your pipe. And yeah, it moves some, but it's still not fitting, of course, inside the pipe. So I guess we'll just repeat. On doing this, I will admit, so you don't expand too much or anything, you want to probably go small bits at a time. So again, you don't go too far with it. Of course, probably not real likely with a tool such as this, unlike a hydraulic pipe expander, like an exhaust shop. Okay, and as before, you can start to see it's bulging the pipe out, but I'm going to pull the expander back out and check it again. But yeah, you can definitely see the progress from the outside. And not yet, but it's not too far off for just 2 rounds of going about it nice and cautiously. Again, first time using the tool, don't want to break it. And here again, we'll just tighten it up again, and we'll go another round on it. Furthermore, do remember this is the 14 gauge pipe. Again, if I would have did it the other way around and been expanding that other end, it would have been going faster. But again, I figured we'd give it a good test for everyone to watch. And furthermore, if anybody watching this has any questions or suggestions, as always, feel free to let them in the comments below. And let's see if it's, oh, that's real close. Now, here I'm going to show you from the end of the pipe. You got to sort of, it's not exactly expanding it in the perfect round shape, but now what we're going to do, the lower spots, where it still needs a little bit more expanding, we're going to be sure we line the fingers up of the expander with the low spots, so when it pushes out against it, it again does round it out. nothing like I say, you can sort of see the design of the tool while you're getting those spots, but especially on this thicker wall pipe. Okay, let's see now. That's better. Let's see if now if the pipe fits. Just not quite yet. We're pretty close, but just a little bit more. And again, sort of try to work it wherever it does. You can again eye it up. You can see that in the video. But yeah, it's extremely much about there. And back in with our tool. Just sort of once you're into the process of it, just sort of keep repeating, going a little bit at a time. And again, if I would have used this before, I would have probably you'd have the feel of it. You could go work quicker at it. Besides wanting to share this video with everyone in the tool, that's another reason I figured I'd practice before you really needed it on just some scrap pipes if you do make a mistake. And as you see, that was extremely close, but just I'm going to try just turning the pipe at a different angle and going back in at it there. Yeah, I thought it was there, but not exactly. So we'll go put the tool back in and we'll expand some more. But again, what I'm claiming, it's good to practice first with it before you, especially if you'd be like expanding an expensive muffler or something and then done it. Because once you go too far, then you'd have a problem. And okay, back in and we'll give it a little bit more of expanding. And now time we'll pull it back out, and I think that just might do it. There's our pipe. Let's see. And would you look at that? That definitely, in real world, would work. You could clamp it down or weld it together, either or. Again, that's what I was saying earlier. It's round. It might not be a perfect circle, but again, it's not that far off the size of the other pipe. And again, if you were again using it as a clamp, would pull it down in place where it's close enough. Again, you could run a bead of weld, whatever you do. I have a welder. I've been welding, and you can see it definitely moved it a good bit from the original size of the pipe, which is impressive for the tool. Just another look at it there, and here we're going to take and grab the pipe one more and just slide it in from a different angle and let you see exactly how it does fit. Again, it's a little bit wants to stick there in one spot, but that's acceptable. It's a little bit sticks going in, which is good, but again, it definitely would work. And here's just sort of, again, we're going to take and pull this bolt back out and show you here this other expander if you need to use it for the different ones. It's explained in the instructions, sort of, if you read there closely, what size to use for what different expanders and different size pipes. And there you can plainly see the threads aren't harmed any from the use of the tool, not even starting to look like anything was stripping, and our bearings survived good. But yes, I am going to pack that with grease before I use it again. And there's the washer, and this is the smaller expander that comes with it, and that cone at the end. But here, if you need it, and again, it explains it to you, there's a larger one of those to use. You just use different ones, either the small one or the large one with the shiny ones, whichever case may be. Like this one, you can see would fit the large one. And again, that's the demonstration. I do thank you for watching, and I hope you consider liking and subscribing to the channel.